Here we are then, this will give me enough money to get some rims. Some fucking fully sick rims, fam. For my Nissan Sentra. And then, I suppose we can talk a little bit more about Gran Turismo 3. Because I had a whole big arc on this channel about trying to get to play Gran Turismo 4. And that's the reason I bought my Slim PS2. And then I actually did play Gran Turismo 4. And I was pretty let down. And I still am not particularly a fan of GT4. I much prefer GT3. But now GT3 is gone. We can insert that dead crab rave meme. And everyone can move on with their lives. Except me. I can't move on. Well, I can move on for a bit. But then after I've completed a couple more road racing games. PGR. And then, I don't know. I haven't actually looked at the chart of games I set up myself to play in forever. I plugged Toka Race Driver 3 back into my PS2 the other day to have a go at it because I haven't played it in a couple of years. And I left off the game last time I played at a bad point on a race at Bathurst in... I think I was driving a Lamborghini Countach, and then the opponents were in not a Porsche, a Rough, because they wouldn't have been able to get the license for Porsche, and it might have been the Ferrari 355. So, you know, I've got no idea what the name of the championship was. But I had to do a race in China, and then a race at Bathurst, and I think there was a third race, but I don't remember it. Point being that it was fucking impossible. Because not only were the cars nearly undrivable, they didn't work at Bathurst, and the AI kept ramming me off the road. Which was, I mean, less than ideal, if we're absolutely honest. And then some of the tiers on the... because Toka Race Driver 3 has two progression modes. You've got the tier 1, where you start from the bottom, and then you go through and you get, you know, cutscenes and stuff. And then it has a season mode, where you can pick between all the different disciplines of racing that they have. You know, touring cars, open wheel, that sort of thing. And then start from the bottom. In the open wheel mode, you start in go-karts, and then you go all the way up to, you know, driving an actual Williams F1 car through, you know, Palmer, Audi, and F3000 and BMW 1000 and that sort of deal. So it's pretty cool, except for the handling model and the opponents, because on some cars the handling model just doesn't function. I'm going to come right out and say it. Toka Race Driver 3, oof. Toka Race Driver 1, oof. Toka Race Driver 2, I haven't played nearly as much of as 3. And I mean, I haven't played any of them nearly as much as 3. But, stretch! Ugh. But, Toka Race Driver 1 I really hate. Race Driver 3 at least is acceptable, but 1 I can't fucking stand the way it drives. And I don't really remember much about 2, but I think it might be the best one. None of them are as good. None of them are as good as Race Driver Grid, however. when I buy my RAM, because I fucking, yesterday when I was recording I said, right after I finish recording this I'm going to buy myself some more RAM. Because that I wanted to get for a couple of weeks and then didn't. Right after I finished recording, I went ahead and didn't do that. But when I eventually do order the RAM that I want for my computer to get it up to 8 gigabytes, to get it up to you know, system requirements for the Elgato, so that I can reliably record Xbox 360. I want to play an Xbox 360 game on the channel. HD graphics, baby. That's what we want. Which will make my PS2 copies of Need for Speed Most Wanted and Need for Speed Carbon go completely to waste, because I've got both of those games on 360 and have had them on 360 for years. But whatever. Who really cares about that? Because we're going to be in HD. I can figure out some whole new fucking setup for the rotor for fucking which games get Let's Played and which games don't. Based on, you know, I could be like, oh well, I've got to be always playing one original Xbox game and one Xbox game and 2 PS2 games or something. But I probably won't do that. And even if I did set it up to be like that, it wouldn't work out that way even if I tried. So I probably won't even bother. I haven't said anything racist in a while. Nigger. Hard R, nigger. Just to remind you where you are. This is a white supremacist zone. And what I believe in, even more than white supremacy, is personal freedom. Which, you know, contrasts heavily with a lot of things I do, including not functioning well without instruction. And that kind of thing. But given the choice, I think I'd rather be able to do whatever the fuck I want. And to be honest, I think we're going to end this episode here. I'll go and buy rims, and then that'll be that. Because these last 2 episodes have been pretty fucking boring, because I haven't had anything to talk about. And there's been a lot of dead air. I feel like Tonka trucks. And I'm actually really disappointed that that fight never happened between Andy Warski and Tonkasaw, because fuck if I don't want to see YouTubers actually beat the shit out of each other for real. Because you know they would. Not like, you know, the e-celeb boxing matches that get set up. Those are super lame, and I don't care. I'm talking about the minor YouTube star, you know, the streamers that, you know, the edgy ones. I want them to fight, because they would actually fight if they got, if, you know, one of them, looking at you Tonkasaw, didn't pussy the fuck out and do everything he could to avoid having a fight that he was put himself in charge of setting up and stipulated all the rules for. Right, there's a new car. Do I risk looking at new cars and letting myself down, or do I go straight to the shop and buy myself some sick rims? Well, I've already set off towards the car shop, so I guess this is where we're going. Shit, missed my turn. Oh yeah, I bought GTA Vice City the other day. About the same time I went and bought the DVD of Ghost in the Shell, which I watched and enjoyed just as much as when I watched it the first time. I think there was a weird part where they're driving in the van and the Major is talking to the only normal guy in all of Section 9, and she's like, oh, we like you because you got a normal brain, and we needed someone with a normal brain to comment on things. I'm going to drive this car in Need for Speed Most Wanted, so I won't buy it. Yeah, she says exactly what I just said. But I don't remember if this happened in any of the torrented versions I've watched, or even the one time that I watched it on Netflix. But in my DVD, her voice cuts out halfway through that line. The subtitles keep coming up. You can still hear the van, you know, going along. And the guy, you know, halfway through her speaking, the guy goes, huh? Because, you know, he's a dummy and he doesn't get it. Because he's not an uber cool cyber android type dude. Can't just understand straight away. But you can't hear what she's saying. It only comes up in the subtitles on the screen. So I don't know what that was about. I don't know if it's supposed to do that. But it did that. Anyway, GTA Vice City. I got to the part where you got to go to the Malibu Club for the first time to meet the Limey, the English guy. So I stepped through the door of the Malibu Club. And 5 minutes later the screen was still black. And the disc was still, you know, spinning at maximum speed. So, you know, I've sort of given up on that. Which is, you know, whatever. I don't actually like GTA too much. I don't know why I spent £2.50 on Vice City. I guess I just like the 80s. Whatever. The driving doesn't feel good, particularly. And anyway, by the time you've started driving, you've arrived at your destination. So there's not really a lot of point to doing it. I mean, I'm aware that I'm not actually into the game yet. You know, I'm still pretty much doing the tutorial bit. And I made fun of Adam for weeks for fucking up the tutorial of Metal Gear Solid 2, which is beat up these two guys and get in the elevator, which he couldn't do. Couldn't find the button for the elevator, and he couldn't beat up the guys either. Why am I back here? Sorry, I took a wrong turn somewhere. That's not where I wanted to go. Tried to pull a sick J-turn like Cosmo and just went straight into the wall. J-turn into traffic. Is it Cosmo that does the J-turns? I can't remember. I don't give enough of a fuck about the OVG trip fakes. The only one I care about is James. Neon lights. Sick blue neon. Sick black windows. Sick blue lights. Like Stevie Nicks. And then next week, in next week's episode, I'll earn a little bit more cash, and then I'll stick a vinyl on the car, put some stickers on it, and then to be honest, probably by then I'll have another car unlocked. But you know what they say, you can never truly know for sure if that's what's going to happen. And to be fair, it's probably not, considering the amount of races that are still on the map, and the fact that I just did the last URL race on the map. Alright, time to go and watch the Grand Tour. I'll see you horrible lot next week.